downfall of King Zone.
Yeah, somehow channel all of that experience here into one, and then two games at the end of the day to try to get the victory. King Zone over to the blue side. Now going to be banning away Vel'Koz. Galio comes through. Maybe we just see the same exact bans yet again.
An Olaf ban would be behooved. KSV will see King Zone.
That's true. They will first pick that.
And King Zone bans Sejuani because Sejuani is the best tank into the Olaf and says, no, really, you have to ban away the Olaf. As we'll see if KSV as a team has spent their whole week trying to find a way to beat the Olaf. That's a possibility. That may be a reason that Olaf is left open multiple times because they feel like they can beat it. But I feel like KSV needs to ban Olaf and make Peanut go somewhere else in the draft.
Well, they're executing on that strategy in game one that I don't have too much faith in it. But there we go. They will, in fact, ban this away. But
the Skarner first pick is going to be very easily picked up here for King Zone. That is the fallback when you see 3 of the top junglers banned and you see the Zac ban because they knew that there would be a Skarner response. So as the read here from the side of King Zone, they anticipated a final ban Olaf and banned away the Zac to make Skarner pretty much the only real top-tier consideration in terms of jungle. Action on to KSV. Looks like they'll be just lucky in mid lane, so they won't be going for a flex Scion. Seems like they don't want to go for that, and they will try once again to put together the Xayah Rakan.
See if there's going to be a deny this time from King Zone, or if they just let it go through, handled it perfectly fine with their Tom, Kenshin, Jhin. So maybe we just see those locked in again for them right here.
Brown is a legacy Taliyah player. This season only 1 and 2, but he's playing a lot in solo queue recently, and also was the person to bring back Taliyah after Worlds 2016. And I Am Gyeonggi was the person everyone looked at for Taliyah builds when it was the double nerf came through for Q and E and it wasn't played at the World Championships at all. He brought it back, so he is a legacy Taliyah player. Hoping to see some good stuff from him.
Varus for now. Saw that banned away by King Zone in the last game. They'll take it for themselves.
So just go Varus Leona in this rotation if they want it. I would imagine you would consider a Leona ban if you were KSV in the second round, once you pick up the Rakan. Could be a Morgana as well, as that's a big pick in other regions. They're going to hold on to their support for now. They really want to claim the Rise. It is a flex pick, even though Khan hasn't played it in the top lane yet this season.
Did just see it there. Game 1 from QV. Didn't have the best results, despite getting the first blood.
You look at what King Zone have, and you can't see 2 of their champions, but they have a pick comp with the Skarner for certain now. There's big lockdown in at least one of their solo lanes and the bot lane to facilitate some snowball. King Zone have been playing almost exclusively around the mid game because no one can actually get them to the late game.
Rush banned away. Leona still on the table. Do we see a Braum ban from King Zone? No, because Rakan's there. The coffee's still kicking in.
Don't worry, mate. You've been away for a week. It's okay.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
We still don't have Braum jungle. I know you'd love to see it, but no Braum jungle yet in the LCK.
I remember playing him top lane when he first came out. Blade of the Ruined King Braum.
I'm sure Ambition remembers happy memories of playing Jarvan IV over in Beijing, but will not be able to play it on this day. We've seen almost no Jarvan in the longest time, but time for Ambition to show us something new. Where the draft like this so far really stretching him thin.
Yeah, do they just go for one more? It's going to be Kennen at the end of the day.
Interesting. So Kennen ban.
Okay.
That's a top lane Kennen ban. AD Kennen is one that QV has enjoyed. We're going to be hovering the Karthus, which I assume would be an Ambition hover. But the Gragas is a possibility. Hasn't found a lot of success in Korea. Been a much bigger pick in NA. But obviously after the changes many moons ago, not a lot of Gragas play around the world. Can knock away and cause a lot of threat onto the Varus and the Rise. So situationally, it could be a very important pick if he gets through the early jungling, where he's very often second in a skirmish. You mentioned the Braum. This would be the 11th game of Braum we've seen come through from Gorilla, and he's won the first 10, so that's pretty scary.
And he's going to go ahead and lock it up, so we'll see this one come through. And yeah, it's been good stuff.
How about the most standard meta comp ever from the side of King Zone?
You know, you look at this and you say, how did this happen?
Well, because they had to ban all the other crap, sadly. As KSV going to take the scaling approach in the top lane, they go for a very quick gangplank. They're going to accept that. King Zone didn't want to go for gangplank themselves, even though they could have had some pretty good options because they wanted another pick champion. And Olaf, situationally, can be a pick champion. Peanut gets to level 6, pops the Predator. Some scary things can happen for King Zone. Whereas KSV are about the scaling. They also don't have the biggest front line. Neither team does, but when it comes to true tanks, the Gragas, they're the only one there, and on the King Zone side, it's probably going to be the Gnar a few items in, and the support Braum. So interesting stuff here. Definitely the potential. They can get some snowball going, try to profit around the cannon barrage and the semi-global of the Talia Weaver's Wall. But King Zone decides so many games so much earlier than that through smart jungle invades. That may be already a couple of minutes too far, as we need to see KSV ramp up their early game and not allow themselves to be run over like they were in game number 1.
Yeah, not nearly as many squishies here for the side of King Zone. Even Ryze going to be a bit tanky and likely to have that Seraph's Embrace shield to come through. So popping anybody on King Zone is going to be a bit of a challenge, whereas KSV, Chain of Corruption comes down. There's no Tom Kenster to save you. It's the Rakan who has to go forward to stop the engage, and pretty much everybody other than Gragas could get bursted down, so we'll see how this one's going to play out. Yet again, a bit of a gamble with this Gragas as everybody just got pinched out here from the side of King Zone.
He's going to be hoping that he gets a free farm till level 6, and against Ascona it's a possibility. But Predator can make ganks happen that weren't possible before. So see if Peanut can still be aggressive on a different chat.
Something tells me he's not going to have too much of a problem with that. Let's go ahead, load in for game number 2, and see if KSV can pick up a victory or if it's just another 2-0 here for King Zone DragonX. Welcome to the pause. Now we can talk about the Double Dragon movie.
No, let's not talk about the Double Dragon
1994.
movie.
You know, the weird thing, my one piece I will say on that, it's very bizarre, as we are told that we have an audio issue by Joel there on Discord, is that I think his name is Robert Patrick was in that movie. He played the bad guy, and he's the guy who played T-1000 in Terminator 2.
He was also in...
Somehow they got him for that film.
He was also in the X-Files.
Yes.
Robert Patrick, in general, those video game movies in the 90s actually did pretty decently in terms of who they cast, and I feel like that was when games like the NES had been out, the SNES was out. I feel like games were in vogue for maybe the first time after the very early era, so that's probably why.
You think about the the Super Mario Brothers movie as well.
Yeah. So they were all able to cast pretty well from that. Is here the chance.
They were busy creating the negative stereotype rather than avoiding it, because it just didn't exist yet.
It definitely did evolve from it.
I don't even know, what would you even consider to be the best? Oh, it's a very young fan there.
Aww. She doesn't know what a great team she's watching.
She might not know what's happening. What would you consider to be the best video game movie?
I want to see if Ambition does face check here. He's put on a ward. That was smart.
Ward does come down. He'll be all right.
KSV with a 3-man defense around here.
I'm just going to throw out that auto attack, but that's about it.
I think he was waiting to see if there'll be a late ward put red side to help the pathing from Peanut, and that's why he went through. But smart to put down his trinket ward. That stopped a lot of pain.
Almost had some excitement as QV just trades back a little bit of damage. So you can see, wasn't doing too much there on that rise. Didn't really get into a good position, even though he had a 2.5-minute first blood handed to him.
Some important bookkeeping to talk about. Summoner spell choice from QV has gone Resolve Tree. Hasn't gone for Klepto. It is going to be the Grasp of the Undying for the Gangplank to try to stay up. And that means a bit more lane pressure is being looked for from QV. We've actually seen this twice now this week, and my read on it is that you can't go full GP10 with the support item starts, showing a lot of ancient coin starts. But after the Bandit was removed on the hotfix on patch 8.5, it seems like Battle Gangplank is becoming much more of a thing. So a little bit less passive, a little bit more lane presence, but not necessarily going to be any big difference in the CS numbers, as Gnar is still going to reign supreme in a range versus melee matchup.
I'll answer my own question. It's Mortal Kombat.
It's a good, I mean, I definitely enjoyed the Mortal Kombat.
The second one's just, oof. Should have never happened.
See, I'm good at not watching the movies that I shouldn't watch. For example, I didn't watch Spider-Man 3.
I was very young when that movie came
I didn't
out.
watch
Of course,
Batman
I loved
3.
the first one, so. By Batman 3, what movie are you talking about?
Dark Knight.
Ah, The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, that one wasn't stellar. It wasn't awful, but it also was just pretty bad.
I think I know where to draw the line with the superhero franchises, which is unfortunately most of them at the moment.
You also are just very bad about seeing movies in
That's
general,
true.
So we've talked about this many times.
Well, we've talked about Ambition's Gragas many, many times, and it was a big pick for him in the past. He was able to dominate on this pick, one of his best picks coming into Worlds last year, and specifically Worlds the year before. But very out of meta because has a hard time skirmishing against basically anyone. And honestly, Predator Skarner is probably another one you have to add to that list. When it comes to these junglers in the meta, probably the best of the bunch. Definitely don't want to deal with an Olaf, but we'll see how he does here, because if he gets the free farming phase to 6, again, knocking a Ryze or a Varus can be really big value. However, the Unbreakable from the Braum will answer it as well.
Light little invasion there from Peanut, pushing forward to get the Gromp. There's down some vision. Should be able to spot out Ambition as he's going to be pathing around to that side.
Ambition's gone for Aftershock, which was nerfed on this patch, but doesn't really affect junglers very much, because it's about actually proccing into combat. So 35 seconds from 20 seconds. It's probably not going to be ganking every 20 seconds. That's your Peanut in game 1.
Yeah.
Now keeps farming up. Is the Fracture Max still on patch 8.5 when it saw a little stun duration nerf? Backs away. For the power farming is Peanut. See where this game goes. It's playmaking summoners on both Core JJ and Gorilla, so I'm hoping some big TP plays as the game goes on.
Peanut gonna get spotted out here. Still just hovering around, and Ambition is just kind of wandering through the jungle looking for something to take. The wolves finally come up, so he will have that camp grab.
He's actually doing a really good job farming. You'll notice
he's doing fantastically.
Even better than it appears in terms of numbers, because he's backed and hasn't used teleport. So he's actually 4 CS down despite being in and having walked to lane. So he's been really good at the lane control, and another sign that going for the resolve tree does help out when it comes to the laning phase.
BDD going forward there a bit as Ambition hovers in the wings waiting. Looking for an opportunity to jump in. BDD is playing up towards this top side. It's going to be the flash body slam coming through. He's going to get junked out. Heals back up, but one more hit will do it. The auto attack comes through from Crown just before he flashes away. BDD dead. First blood over to KSV.
Yeah, awkward that he uses flash through that. I thought he was trying to hold on to it to try to flash over the W coming through from the Talia, but Crown just never used it. So the mind game here, it didn't feel like they'd had the damage take him down. They pull him through. He's looking for the seismic shove from Crown. It never comes through. So Crown actually out mind games BDD and hands him his first death of the game.
Yeah. One of those situations where you look back at it and you're like, I should have just flashed away from the body slam.
He was worried about the follow flash or the seismic shove after he flashed, and in the end, just very well thought, and now Crown has a flash cleanse advantage as well.
Decent start for him there as Core JJ just dodges around pretty much everything here. Lit by the piercing arrow, but otherwise going to be quite all right.
Probably the best laning moment we've seen from Crown in a very long time. It's really good to see. I remember casting Rift Rivals last year in his Talia performance in a Syndra matchup where he was so good at holding onto his summoners in a very difficult game. A lot of gankers was a highlight for me, and obviously a split that was a down one for Crown. So good to see him on the Talia. They prized it. They took it first round on the red side, and already nice little bit of gamesmanship from the world champion mid lane.
Yeah, another early first blood over to KSV, but it's going to be everything operating around the mid game that will decide whether or not they can expound on that, grow a larger lead.
It does mean something because he's against Cannon Barrage, doesn't really want to go around.
He's just going to say hello as the lockdown there. BDD is ready to scoop up this kill. He's going to flash over the wall. Peanut chases him, but the body slam comes through. Now the barrage from the sky. They will be able to kill the Talia, but Peanut, he trades that one for his life. BDD pushed forward here, trying to get some damage in onto Ambition. TP a bit late as the Rune Prison comes down, and Core JJ is here to back him up. Gorilla will go ahead and finish channeling this. Now he's a ways away from bot lane.
A lot going on through that. That would have been a clean kill if he had used his summoners at level 1, but they had to invest more. Ended up being a 1-for-1 Achilles. So Crown able to get a 1-for-1 because he held on to his summoners. In the top lane, predictably, Khan got some free time heading onto the gangplank, so was able to chunk him out. But a lot happening on the Rift. Again, imagine this scenario if Crown had to use summoners. It would have been very different, and also BDD would have made to flash over. He falls so low, but ends up requiring a flash from Skarner, a trade kill from Skarner. Good use of the Realm Warp there to pick up the kill, but only a 1-for-1. King Zone aren't trading up just yet.
and the TP now gone from Gorilla out of the bot side, so we're all pretty solid there from KSV. They maintain the lead. It's about 300 gold. This does help Crown get further ahead here in mid.
It's definitely a game where Peanut is empowered to gank every time Impale is up. He has huge assistance in every lane. It's looking on to...
Corruption coming through. Featherstorm goes up. Afraid not going to get caught by that Blade Caller. Actually doesn't even get used by Ruler yet.
Good cooldown trade as well. Now, if the gank comes through, they will be able to take down Ruler. No damage trade back as the Unbreakable was available. BD's flash up in about 25 seconds here, so at least with the Unsealed Spellbook, that'll be up pretty soon. Blue buff is transferred, the gold lead is moot. This game already feels a lot more competitive, as KSV have been jungling really smartly, and in general, some good stuff in the early game that we weren't seeing in game number 1.
2-1, everything's still going to be close knit as we approach the 10-minute mark. No early dragons to be had here without that Olaf. So Cloud Drake's still going to be sitting on the rift for a little while. Peanut now, he's going for this control.
They can try and burst
They're
him.
going over the wall, that's going to be the body slam into the knockback. Seismic shove as well just to keep him contained, and Peanut, he'll use the Impale, but it doesn't matter. Ambition comes up with a kill. A third one here for KSV as BDD tries to retreat.
Peanut misreading the situation.
Oh dear.
BDD had his heal up, but he was being so lackadaisical about clearing that ward. There's always going to be good bursts coming through from Ambition and Crown this early in the game. King Zone overrating how strong they were. They don't have mid lane priority in this game like they have had so often in recent memory. KSV with a newly buffed Cloud Drake on the menu started up.
Yeah, Crown sitting around the back of the pit in case he had to cut off the bot lane of King Zone to stop them from roaming over. But we're just going to go ahead and allow this Cloud to be taken free of charge.
Now that the early phase is over for Ambition, he can do playmaking just like the Skarner can. And if he's on point in teamfights, and remember, this is a huge comfort pick for Ambition from the past, the amount of work he can do with the cast to either force summoners or just interrupt a team and just ult behind a Skarner, there's no allies to pull something to. There's a lot of different engage and disengage use of the Gragas, and this Gragas awkwardly has most of the kills, but will certainly be tanky as a result.
Yeah, 100% kill participation. 2 of those going to be the killing blows. First blood handed over to Crown, so still in a nice spot there with the Talia. As KSV jumps just a bit further ahead. It's only 600 gold, so not the largest lead, but they're able to take an objective off the back side of that with the Cloud Drake going over to them.
And again, we talk about what is lost and what is gained from going for the Resolve tree. Well, the gold lead not being 1,500 at this point, that's lost because of the lack of GP10 and the lack of Kleptomancy from QV. But his turret health is high, and that is the gain, because this Gangplank will not be letting his turret go down early, trying to farm up a storm with the gold generation.
Well, if you're SKT sitting at home watching this series, after game 1, you're feeling pretty damn good. And then it comes down to this early game. That's when things are a bit scarier. Still very far away from taking this series as KSV. But it's a solid start. They're showing that they still can find that form, that Ambition can get rotated back into this roster and find some success.
It's a really swinging game also when you look at the team comps, because good scaling on both sides. The Gangplank does run away with the Gnar matchup. Doesn't really feel like there is any other equivalent. I'd say there's probably is more power for Ruler as the game goes on, as Talia and Gragas walking bot side, predicted by the side of Praying Gorilla, who are used to playing this side of the lane, where they don't have any presence and have to be very respectful. Again, the big change in this series compared to the previous one is there's really no one to face check on either side short of Braum and the Gragas, you could argue. A lot of pick power from both teams, so the snowball of this game can be massive as some nice dance moves come through from BDD.
Yeah, Crown trying to predict there with a seismic shove, but BDD just hugs back in by the turret. No explosive catch coming out of Ambition, so still has that for a return gank. As Khan starts chipping away at this turret. He's been controlling nicely. Would like to see how much of a goal difference there is right here, because Cube does not have a Kleptomancy here in the top lane.
So difficult for a non-tank to itemize against the Gnar because of the mixed damage to get more points in Hyper. Stuns up Ambition. Peanut's relatively alone here.
Well, that's going to be the Impale coming through. Explosive Casters knocking he and BDD to the side.
A lot of cooldowns are down, so King Zone might consider doing something here.
They're being escorted out by Core JJ. Still hovering in the vicinity. Gorilla. Now here. Goes out the Q.
Varus is going to show in bot lanes. They know the AD carry won't rotate. That's why King Zone have to back away.
Vision control here. Red Buff going to go ahead and releash back into the pit.
Varus walking up. Taking a long route. Is spotted by a ward as well. So it's a very tenuous position around this red.
Very bold one. That's going to be the Weaver's Wall coming through. Khan building up that Gnar bar. Not going to come in with the TP, and a big chain of corruption comes down. Finds 3. Glacial Fissure thrown in as well, but the seismic shove knocks Gorilla back in. They take him down as Ruler finds the kill. Peanut has to run for the hills because he still does not have that Impale back off cooldown. And KSV, they're going to invade. They're going to get vision and a kill.
And King Zone are misreading their power again through this reinvades in the jungle. Ryze was in the mid lane. They were not going to be able to outnumber, and they need to. How well the early game has gone for KSV. So KSV is playing some great controlled jungling around Ambition invading in the red side jungle. And King Zone are playing like it's game 1. It's game 2, and game 2 is looking a whole hell lot more competitive than what we saw in our first game. You make that base check if you have the Gnar collapsing and Ryze in tow. They don't have him there, so it shouldn't be a surprise to Gorilla. He's taken down, and another kill goes the way of KSV.
Khan trying to trade back there onto the GP, but can't really do much. And KSV, they're going to find the first turret of the game and accelerate this pace even more. Now find themselves up 2.3 thousand gold. That's 14 minutes in. Peanut, he's taking away a red buff, but that's about as good as it gets right now for King Zone.
Vision is winning the jungle matchup against Peanut, something that I did not expect to say today with his recent struggles and the fact that Haru started in game number 1. But good to see Ambition. We mentioned bring on a new pick, bring on a different pick, change his style. This is not Herbivore of Ambition. This is Ambition playing around lane pressure and also having an aggressive mindset. So cool to see it when they very much need it. And maybe we got way more series than we expected, because after game 1, I thought our traditional 1-hour break after a King Zone series was going to return.
KSV have other plans, it would seem. Closing it out. That is going to be the true challenge. They've already gotten the lead. They need to grow it and actually destroy that Nexus to really start making SKT sweat.
A lot of people thought that these two teams would be playing in the LCK Grand Final, as it does represent the World Champions versus the LCK Summer Champions. But it hasn't been the season. For KSV, this is a Grand Final for them in many ways. Expected to not make it to playoffs if they lose. Smart rotation, bringing in their bot lane.
BDD, he just can't push up close enough to try to get the spread damage there onto the back line.
He's walking
Will
up.
finally be able to do so, but takes a nice chunk of his HP bar.
He's walking up because he knew he had Gnar rotating, but KSV are outnumbering. They have the Cannon Barrage, level 2 Cannon Barrage available. So they back away, and there really isn't a proactive thing that King Zone can do here, as KSV see Crown in great position with the Weaver's Wall.
Yeah, going to come through. Gorilla tries to make it to the other side, but actually blocks it. Beautifully done there by the Unbreakable. Chain of Corruption comes through into the Feather Storm there from Ruler as he gets out alive. Everybody just dogpiling in on top of the Braum, and he's going to go down as Ruler finds the kill. Impale there from Peanut does get the kill onto Ambition, so they trade 1 for 1, but KSV, they're still just a few hits away from taking down this mid-tier 1 turret.
There's enough health onto BDD. He might be able to repel this, as Crown is being relentless in how much he's willing to push up. Playing to their win conditions, playing to their drop, re-engage.
Another pop up there, Khan down to half HP, takes the quick hop away, and BDD still is just suffering as this Xayah shoots off with these feathers. They'll go ahead, they'll break the turret. KSV keep moving forward with the gold, and QV gets alone time with his turret in top, nearly breaking all of the outers.
It was really great on-the-fly shot calling because they saw Prey bot lane and instantly further collapsed onto mid to take that turret. Seems like King Zone now are in damage control mode, trying to pick up farm and accept losses rather than looking to make too much out of a situation. Teleport was cancelled, so it could be a bit of a teleport advantage coming through from QV through this. Khan not been able to dominate lane after the Resolve tree was invested into. And so far, so good for KSV. Want to go for the 3 outer turrets and to emulate a lot of the game plan that King Zone were winning with in game number 1.
3,000 gold up, KSV still in control. Ocean Drake has spawned. Ambition right now hovering down around that bottom side. We'll see if he's going to be starting it up. Looks like he may be doing just that, as Peanut tries to pressure QV up top. Gorilla and Prey also roaming over. Peanut down to about half HP.
Doesn't have his Impale available either. Vision slowly soloing the Ocean Drake.
Everybody there going to be spotted. Really checking in. Tries a big shove there onto Gorilla. Has the Unbreakable to help stay alive. Ocean Drake now taken.
It's important information. They know Gragas can't be there.
So we'll go ahead and finish off this turret. We'll see if they want to keep pushing forward. Khan nearly has the transformation ready to go. They're going to catch it here onto Ruler on the backside. Pops the heal. Nearly has Featherstorm. Where JJ looks forward. Goes in with the quickness. Locking them in. Gorilla shoved back through. It's going to be a trade of the support so far. As Ambition now arrives. The rest of King Zone is going to be exiting down the lane. Back over to that turret that still stands.
Well, Jay actually messed that up. He wasn't able to register the stun onto anyone after he flashed in. So it still ends up being a 1-for-1. No trade up. QV face checking.
Yep, that's going to be QV getting locked in down to half HP. BDD, yeah, there's just nothing he can do. The damage comes through from the Rise. A little bit of a tickle there from Prey as well as he throws in the hail of arrows, but they get the kill onto the GP, so still going to be King Zone trading up at the end.
They trade up, but it's a pretty small one and not what we usually see from King Zone. Watch the replay, and how Cortege flashes. Doesn't really get any value. Gets the quickness onto 2,
yeah.
But all they can do is trade from that. Not worth the flash that we see. He wasn't able to get the entire team. Obviously, getting the call to initiate because the Gragas was on the way. But Gragas was spotted. They back away. Very nice camp coming through from King Zone. Do get them that second kill. Not the objectives or barons that they've been trading up for in recent weeks.
But still, it's giving King Zone a window back into this game by allowing them to trade up against you. KSV will immediately go back up top. They'll take down this turret, so still want to stay ahead, want to keep accelerating the pace of this game, so it's going to be 3-1 in turret, 6-4 in kills as they find themselves up just 3,000 gold. So haven't been able to grow that gold lead yet, but are still maintaining it here 5 minutes later.
Well, there's a lot to like about KSV in terms of 5v5 team fighting as it goes on. Game plan for King Zone is to hit that item breakpoints, get those control wards down, and start to play around Baron as well. We're seeing a friend come to join QV.
Yeah, Khan going to be in a very bad spot here, trying to trade back onto QV. Takes a double hop to the side, but Crown has just been so accurate.
Tries to go for the trade kill there.
You know,
that last auto may or may not have killed, hard to tell, but optimistic, and that means the Mega Gnar threat is gone as well. King Zone have been pretty undisciplined in their summoner usage, trying to use their mechanics to salvage some pretty bad decisions they've made so far in this game. Again, they can get 5 control wards, put them down. If they're not in a massive gold disadvantage, a pick can happen, a Baron can happen. But if it's not going to be that, if it's just going to be following the tone of the play in the first 20 minutes, so far it's KSV, mostly in full control.
This has been weird. Really weird play there by Khan. The flash was just bad.
I mean, it's a fair read. Seem to think that a 1-for-1 was necessary. If your team could take Baron on the other side, maybe, but in this particular case, at just around 20 minutes, wasn't going to happen.
I mean, a 1-for-1 when you could have just saved the flash, try to go for a team fight, and get the big wombo stun into the wall with a chain of corruption on top.
That is definitely the losing the minimum approach, but King Zone haven't had to do that for a while, and
yeah.
If you're as mechanically talented as Khan, you bait yourself into looking for the big outplay when, like you say, just being controlled was probably the right way. Is flash over.
That's going to be KortJJ going in, gets the pop up there on the Peanut, but KortJJ's now so very low into the back line. As Khan arrives, he's got the Mega Gnar ready to go. Flash be damned! He finds 2 stunned in the wall, but can't follow up for the kill so far. Going to be that 1-for-1 as they try to kite back. Khan gets the wallop, but he gets taken down as Ruler finds the kill. KSV pushing over, maybe looking for the Baron. Several members are low, though. Not sure if they're tanky enough to take this.
Yeah, just even with the Gnar coming in the backline, not enough damage to back it up. KSV is strong. They have decent Baron damage. They could start this more than we saw from King Zone in game number 1. They're going to get a teleport out and look for a pick.
TV coming through. KSV that just peel off, and they are ready to go. Gorilla arrives, but he has to say goodbye immediately. They delete him, and now they turn straight back over to this Baron.
It should be Baron for KSV. Varus going to walk up, but he's already seen the first pick on this area. Know there's a ward there. They're looking for the turn as BDD has stuck around.
Yet again, falling for the same trap that his support did. Now BDD also in a bad spot. They're going to be pushing forward. Speed up's coming through. QV can't get the barrel connection, but do they just keep hovering around this Baron, or do they abandon it? Seems like it's going to be the latter.
Yeah, you could argue the last one does end up losing the health bar and thus cancel the Baron. 1 by 1 they go. They fall down, and KSV are able to get more and more gold to cement some very good stuff. They flash in here. They think they have Ruler. but the damage isn't there. BDD's going to take a while to walk up. The Talia will always have first rotation, and the Weavers will actually keep Prey out of the fight. You don't see any auto attacks because he can't do any the entire fight, so the big flanking teleport means so little, as only now Prey can join, and his front line is gone. Front to back possible for the side to KSV, and a very nice Weaver's wall, the reason from Crown.
And crucially, Crown able to flash away before the wallop came through from Khan, so he doesn't get double locked up there, allowing him to get back onto the outside of the fight and just keep skirting around. You can see he's really been playing an excellent support. Talia here, 1-1-10 on that pick so far, so 100% kill participation from Crown, and the Weaver's walls have been on point from him so far.
And the surreal thing is, it's still the World Championship lineup. This is the same team that lost in Game 1. Sure, Ambition is in the lineup. We're talking about holistically over the season, where they haven't played to this level for the majority of the season. And is that a hangover after winning the World Championships? A possibility. But they actually get Ambition onto a pick where he can invade and he can play around pressure and ganking. This has been the result. It's been a great performance around that by KSV, looking for another turn around Baron.
Start this one up. They take a little bit of damage there. Ambition, however, is going to be fine. It's got the passive healing ready to come through. Now a Weaver's wall arriving. Yeah, they're looking for Peanut. They get the pop-up, they get the quickness, they get the lockdown, and they get the kill. Another one over to Ruler. And now with no smite to counter them, KSV should be feeling confident enough to start this one up. King Zone, how do they approach stopping this?
A flash on Varus, but other summoners are down. Almost impossible for King Zone to contest this. The Realm Warp is also down. See what happens here. 4,000 on the Baron.
No flash available here from Khan. Gorilla going to be up front, has to jump away from the Seismic Slam, and that should just be it going over to KSV. Khan kiting back. They're going to be looking for a pick perhaps here on the ground in QV, but now Khan, he's just going to be stranded up in the front line, has the transformation, but he's just getting ripped apart here in the Mininar form.
They'll have to go for any sort of fight here, but they're trying.
He doesn't have the flash. Ruler almost goes down. BDD now feeling reinvigorated, pushes forward, looking for QV. Ruler gets a nice drag through Khan, gets one stun into the wall, jumps away, but will go down in the end as Ambition finds the kill, but BDD finishes off the GP. They can't reconnect with the rest of his team. Prey is cut off. Peanut now arrives, but there's just no re-engage possible from them. And KSV, they'll get the Baron. They'll just rotate over and take an Infernal Drake.
They're going to move over to the Drake. Like you mentioned, the Infernal will be free. They're able to get one Baron buff down. And it is onto QV, the split pusher, so that part is decent when it comes to the 1-for-1. The Infernal goes over to KSV. They continue to stack up, and King Zone really only feel like they can fight. They continue to fight when they're in a power trough. They're behind in gold. Looking for these fights that seem to just be accelerating their own demise. Could argue that KSV have great options as the game goes on. You would think that King Zone are at least competitive in how they've drafted. Now that we get closer and closer to Ruler, who's about 500 gold away from his Infinity Edge, maybe the time has passed for King Zone, to fight him. We may be going to a Game 3 that did not look likely after game number 1.
If any team could turn this around, you would have to expect it to be King Zone, but try and try again and keep slipping further behind. Now 7,000 gold down. And Baron buff there for KSV for the next 2 minutes with an Infernal on top. They have been stacking up the objectives here for themselves. Now they're looking for vision control into this top side of King Zone's jungle.
It's all about just the very routine closing of a game. Invade the jungle, you put down wards, you get extra information, and you look for the Weaver's wall behind the turret. There really is no counterplay to that. A lot of ranged wave clear for the side of King Zone. Han already rotating. Both top laners have their teleports available, but Cannon Barrage always rotates first. KSV waiting for the minion wave in top lane. A Realm Warp play is always possible, but it seems like a one-way trip unless Meganar is already active.
Weaver's wall coming through. Gorilla yet again has the unbreakable blocks that one, but still have to surrender this turret. Ambition goes forward, throws out the explosive caster stock, spray to the side. But it buys them enough space to go ahead and take their fourth turret of the game as they are nearing a 10,000 gold lead just 27 minutes in.
And the trade of Unbreakable for Weaver's Wall is actually decent for the side of KSV because then there's nothing to answer the explosive cast coming through from Ambition. So you see that cooldown, you try it. Doesn't work on Prey, it doesn't need to flash either. The objective goes down, map control completely on the side of KSV. A huge gold lead as well. Need to wait out the Baron, but that's really all King Zone can do, because this is a game where KSV owns all of the map.
They're looking for even more control here. Mid turret already getting chunked out quite a bit. They want to finish this off. Khan looking for the pick on the side, but two gets pushed forward with that seismic shove, and Gorilla will go down. Unbreakable be damned. He falls, the turret follows suit. Ambition way too far forward, will get punished for that one as Prey finds a kill finally in this game. But Ruler is just so fearless, goes in for the Featherstorm, and will just take down Prey. BDD, it's just an afterthought at the end of this one. Another seismic shove connects in onto Khan. He's got the transformation ready. He's trying to make it in under the turret, but QV is hot on his heels. Finally transforms and will stay alive, but KSV can do whatever they want with a base.
And that's what happened. Ruler got farmed up. He's got the Zeke's convergence. He's huge. And it will just burst down anyone who looks at him funny. Juve wasn't able to pick up the kill, but can just push up, get even more standing gold on the map. He's not shadowing him, but...
Another hit coming through. Weaver's wall. Double hop will take Khan out to safety, but they have to lose the turret. 7th of the game here to KSV. 12,000 gold up over King Zone DragonX.
And very well deserved as well. They've played excellently, and King Zone from behind have been found wanting. They haven't had this sort of competition in a long while, and KSV are channeling the sort of gameplay we haven't seen for them since Worlds, it feels like. A pleasure to watch them playing like this, but it makes you wonder where it was. Ruler a god in this particular engage. He knows that there's no threat onto him when Crown is next to him. And now it feels like we're just waiting for KSV to dot the I's, cross the T's, and put us through to a mouthwater in game number 3.
But even then, just the setups from Crown have been so good. Every Weaver's wall, every seismic shove, that time catching 2 members, bringing them up front. Just stellar play from him. This is a guy who has had a very bad year.
Yeah.
He has not looked like his former self. He does not look like the world champion that we know him to be.
You do wonder.
Ow.
If you had to choose one, are you banning Gragas or Talia on the blue side? Because they'll be on the blue side next. Are you banning both and leaving some things open? So they'll be on the red side. On the red side, you can ban both. It's going to be very interesting to see how King Zone approach the draft in game number 3. Does seem like we're inevitably going to be going there. Both those picks.
I mean, this would be...
Now, Gragas into Olaf would have been very different, so the fact that the Gragas got to breathe against the Skarner was very useful, so let Ambition get to the point where he then overtook the game. But I'm very excited to see already a Game 3 draft and the adaptations brought through. Another Weaver's wall.
It's not over till it's over. Gorilla can't stop this one yet, but he can just hop to the other side as they try to get in onto Khan, but he's already put some distance between himself and the members of KSV and had that transformation ready to go, so he is going to be all right.
KSV can afford to be pretty damn patient. They've already broken the base. Another Cloud Drake spawns at 35, a Baron in 50. And King Zone have not been far enough out of their base to put down anything other than emergency vision around the map. Ruler is ungodly fed. 4 items and boots compared to the 3 items on Prey. And those items are cheaper also, which lets you know that he's stitched together something, but a pale imitation what Ruler is running around with. Turns out you don't need Karma mid lane. You just need to empower Ruler with some very solid macro play, and then you get the Ruler that we see in solo queue oh so often.
And the crown from seasons past. Okay, King Zone now pushing forward. Gorilla jumps away from that seismic shove. But yet again, Cannon Barrage comes down. Gorilla throws out the Glacial Fissure, but it's just not going to be enough. He gets popped as Crown claims another one.
Vision was able to hold on to the Unbreakable, so waited till the Unbreakable was down. Didn't even need to use his ultimate, so they do have the turn here with the cask.
Now they'll just kite back, wait for Khan to expire here with the Mega Gnar. They
Speaking
go
of turn,
with big quickness, just locks them all in, and King Zone cannot get away. BDD gets shoved back, Featherstorm comes through. They'll take him down as Ruler finds another one. That's going to be the ace. That's going to be the game. KSV take down King Zone in game number 2.
And that means we get the game number 3 with KSV looking oh so hot in game number 2. Suddenly, their very far hopes of making it to playoffs are reignited. If they win game number 3, they go through.
This is a Monka's moment for SK Telecom going into game number 3. KSV have the momentum on their side. Extremely convincing with Crown going back to the Talia, with the Gragas coming through for Ambition. absolutely clean play from them, and they crush King Zone.
And the best part about it is that every LCK fan is feeling the drama. Whoever you support, there is always ramifications about SKT making it in or not making it in. The world champions making it in or not making it in. With Rox facing Jin Air. If Rox win that, then there can only be one between the two teams that battled for the World Championship in front of the biggest esports crowd ever at Beijing at World Finals. KSV were really smart in this game. I love that Ambition was empowered for the first time in a long time. And now it's on King Zone to adapt in the pick and ban for the first time we can remember and actually answer the strategy. Is it a Taliyah ban? Is it a Gragas ban? Is it both? They're on the red side. You ban those, and there's going to be some pretty OP stuff left open.
Yeah, several factors. Do they want to take away the Zyra Khan, deny one of those picks from the side of KSV? They've played it twice in a row. Game one, not really finding success, but coupled with the Taliyah and the Gragas there for Ambition and Crown, Ruler is just able to pop off. But a lot of questions that will only be answered for us as we get into the draft, as the next game unfolds. But King Zone, they lose another game. They get taken to game 3 for the first time in a while. Let's see if they can close this out or if KSV will find the upset and keep SK Telecom in the playoffs.